step in.
Yes, Pierre.
Let me step in and confirm. You talked about 54.8 at the beginning. Then you talked about 17.6, which was claimed. If you subtract that one, you get 37.2. But then cumulatively, you have got 16.1, which is now part of the 50 that is there. And I can confirm that that money is there. And we are going to continue to sensitize people to get their money.
Now, PS, at that very point, if the desire is to give this person money, at the point of taking his money, you can also collect, this person can be told, in a case, where do we put your money? You know, the population you're dealing with has been made to fear law enforcement agencies.
And interface with the court.
Now, the reason why you're holding up to that tune of money, which does not belong to government, is because the population, I know they might be aware that I need to claim, but they also know that on top of the official money, there are other monies they pay. So, they have been asked to pay officially 50,000. But on 50,000, I've paid 1.5 million on top of the. So when I'm claiming, how much should I claim? So all those are details that go around this thing. So my proposal, at the point of taking this person's bail money, it should be at that very point. That's when you collect his information, how and where they want their money to be deposited, instead of putting them into another arena of things to say you have to apply and you know. I have ever seen a man here, a colleague here, a friend of mine here in Kampala, who came up to your offices and made rounds of news claiming for bail money 3 million. I don't know whether anybody remembers that. There is a young person here who knew that this money belongs to me, but he came to court frequently, taking his money, and it took him a lot of time. Now, there are many Ugandans who may not afford that.
Honorable Mudimi.
Madam Chair, one of the requirements for the bail money, they ask normally, we get this feedback from the Wananchi, that you present the original receipt. But PS, you know, some of these cases, they last for more than 10 years. I've seen a number of them. So you find that in the course someone, they have misplaced the original receipt. He or she cannot claim the money because that's the requirement. They go there, they say, bring your original receipt. I thought you have records for that. Once I say, I'm Mudime, I want my bail, you cross-check. I thought there is a system. And then second, on the issue of the cost he has indicated, yes, they get from where costs, but some of our areas are hard to reach. Now, from my home to near court, you spend to and fro, you spend 40,000 on a border. Now, you are claiming 100,000. If you go twice now, you look at that, you evaluate and say, please,
yes, Honorable Chair.
I think I like it when she said, at that point they even ask the person to fill in the form how this person would like to be paid. Is it by mobile money or by bank? Now, if you have that information, okay, and the time is due when this person is entitled for a refund of the bail fees, why would you again want this person to start the process of applying for the bill when you have the information where the money should go? Because like one of them has said, one will put in calculations, how much transport he will put in, and even the possibility of success will ignore, and this is why we have the 54 billion here.
And I want to inquire from the PS, for you, when you look into your record and having this total of 54 as proposed money, for you, what comes to your mind? Automatically, that shows that there is a problem. Something must be solved. Now, number two, save for the 54. When you look at the steps the registrar was talking about when you are filling the initial form, I wanted to ask myself, sometime back you told us about a case management system. I don't know whether you have it. Because one would have, practically, would have thought that the moment a case is entered into the system, it's tracked up to the final conclusion. And just in case if you say, you know, by 10 years, the address, the phone number, somebody could be has died, all those updates. At least let's look for modalities of how we can get those updates. But in this era of technology, really, how can we be this manual? It is an embarrassment. A country that is now 63 years of independence and 40 years of a government that has consistently served. So how do you expect us to protect our gains when we are being treated like this? You are keeping our money. So, PS, how shall we protect these gains with such kind of behavior?
Can I round out? If, with your permission, let me round this topic, and we move to another one. If you are, with your permission. Now, one thing is very clear that we have made campaign. We have sensitized the public about bail application, and we are not going to stop. But I have also promised to you that there is a committee I have put in place which is studying the intricacies surrounding bail, so that we can find ways and means of making it easier and quicker. But I also want to inform you. You remember last time I was here, one member of parliament told us that he had not collected his bail. Here. Now, if you have got so many members of parliament and so many who have refused or failed to collect their bail, it's part of the...
I also have my money there,
no.
but...
Yes. He is one of them. So, we are going to give it to you if you claim it. But also to tell you that this 54 actually is not, all of it is not bail. It has got 26 security deposits and 24 billion is the bail. And this 26 billion cannot be paid until a court order has been issued. And you know the process of having the court order is not just one day affair. But let me assure you once again that we are working around the clock to make sure that this bail issue is sorted out. I don't think next time I come here, I'll be having different stories.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. As you work around, behind, down the clock, this is what we expect of you. You are going to provide us details of the claimants of that money. Yes. Hey. And no, you people, let me tell you one thing, because we need to know the age. Because we would ask, for example, if you found somebody there is a deposit that has taken 10 years, what should court do? Should it remain there forever? We must get a solution on this. Because we must also, as court say, if this money, we've been with this money, say, for 20 years, should you keep it for 20 years? Do we take inventory of the age of the money that you have kept, or we just keep accumulating without making an assessment?
Actually, without interrupting your speech, we are even thinking of getting those beneficiaries and put them in newspapers. But it is, I don't know whether we shall be in order to disclose somebody's bail in the newspapers.
You are the custodians of the law.
The other alternative is to even announce in the radio. And he say, come and get your 3 million.
So PS, but we are triggering you to really think aloud on how we can have a solution over this. This is people's money. 54 billion is not some small money. Please do. So we need to have a solution. You are the legal gurus. You are the custodians of the law. We expect to see something by before the swearing in of new leaders. We need to see something being worked upon. Work around, behind, down the clock to ensure that we get results. Actually, you talked about these committees that you put in place. The output of these committees of unclaimed for money. That shows that you have delivered. But when you advertise, when you send teams, and there is no output in regard to reduction of this vice, then that shows that there is no value for money. So we need to see the value for the money and the activities that you do in regard to the bail challenge. Hope that will be sorted. PS, we move ahead.
Thank you.
We go to GOU warrants. PS for the financial year under review. Parliament appropriated a total of 442 billion. And this constituted of recurrent and non-wage expenditure, capital development, that is noted. And out of the 442 billion.6, you got 100% of the releases. However, you failed to utilize 14.15 billion. The table 11 shows areas of underutilization, page 11. So can you explain page 11, why didn't you pay money to pensioners, property management, land, and others? But most of the money is in for others. What is it that you did not pay for that led to underutilization of 14.15 billion?
I will ask the head of accounts once again to help me to respond to this.
Thank you very much, Chair. The details of how this was supposed to be is on a recommendation. However, our response is found in page 16. Management response. Management continues to engage the executive to approve the proposed enhanced salaries of administrative and other staffs of the judiciary, because this is very critical in enhancing efficiency and effectiveness in the service delivery. We have also continuously engaged the Judicial Service Commission to fast-track the recruitment. Attached as Annex 6 are copies of letters written to the Commission to this effect.
Yes, Honorable Mudimi.
Madam Chair, I've seen this issue of salaries, and members will note that over many years, MDS present requests on shortfalls on salaries and wages. But you have a wage which is provided and you have not utilized. Now, other sector, they have shortfalls. And this normally comes as supplementary expenses. So, which one? Should we first have the scales approved, people recruited before you get wage, or which one? You first have the money, then you start from there. And you know, we operate a cash budget. What we get, what we spend. Now, if you lock money, 13 billion in wage, which would have used for other sectors have shortfalls. So really.
Chair.
Yes, Honorable.
In addition
Herbert.
to Honorable Mudimi's submission, it's a requirement that when you are making a budget, you must accompany it with a recruitment plan. And when this money for recruitment is actually approved, it is based on that recruitment plan that you attach on the budget. Now, to me, I find it quite difficult to say you got the money, but you have not been able to recruit yet. You must have attached a recruitment plan before that money is approved. So in the same vein, because that means that other entities who would have actually received this money, you denied them this money and yet you did not utilize it. So I think it's improper, and the explanation given or the response is really not sufficient.
Honorable members, they attach an Annex 6. It's part of the responses. And this is a letter to the Permanent Judicial Service Commission. And they were declaring pending positions to be filled. The claim here is the Judicial Service Commission didn't do their part. But when you look at the positions that they were talking about, the PS will explain how the technicality of having this delayed, because it's not a matter of saying we wrote to them. They are going to come. They will appear before a relevant committee, and this must be answered. For example, they want 50 drivers. So what is happening in circumstances where you don't have drivers? Don't you think you are putting our officers at risk? Why don't you recruit 50 drivers? So we need to ask the commission, the Judicial Commission, I mean, what does it take them to approve that? Because if in any case you have a wage, what does it take them to approve the recruitment of drivers? Number two, these senior records officers, system administrator, these are not too technical for to have them delayed. Mr. PS, you are contributing to the unemployment rate in this country. No, you. Because you failed to recruit in your budget. So for you, are you happy when the youth are out there, languishing around without jobs? We want to, recruit drivers such that people can get employment. Please do.
For the benefit of members, I share same sentiments with you, by the way. I'm with you. I'm on the other side now. We've got vehicles, no drivers. We've got IT positions, no IT people recruited. Process servers, court clerks. What do you want me to say? Please, Judicial Service Commission is coming here, ask them whether they have got challenges, and they'll explain to you. I badly need drivers yesterday. I have declared these positions. I have money in the budget. So why don't we not let's look at that critically. They want jobs. Please, this one, I request chairperson, we go to another topic. You just keep it for Judicial Service Commission.
Chair, as we prepare to go to another topic, I wanted to hear accounting officer's comment to what Honorable Mudimi raised. Honorable Habert has clearly stated that you have 3 plans, as among others: your work plan, your recruitment plan, your procurement plans that accompany your request for appropriation. That's the budget. Now, what Honorable Mudimi has said should also be one thing to interest you. Why do we deprive other entities of resources which you are keeping, and yet you cannot absorb them because of a laxity of a sister entity on your side? What would be your comment if we did the reverse, that we first secure these employees, then we request for a budget?
That cannot happen.
What would be your...
It cannot happen.
That cannot happen.
So the commitment controls get challenged.
Let's stop at that.
So let's take this seriously and see how we can have this money absorbed.
Honorable Angula,
and give the Ugandans jobs.
We take note of that. Same.
Chair, at least we are here. There was a point in time when PS was telling us about the absence of judges in judiciary. At least now we are talking about drivers. It looks like the issue of judicial officers was a solved case. And I just wanted to hear about its impact on the matters of the the people's cases, what they call the backlog.
We have the backlog in front, but honorable colleagues, the PS is appealing to you. Now he said he's also this side. I don't know where you will sit, but as you come this side, as you appeal, he will sit near Vasariva, but honorable Vasariva. But the gist of this matter is, first of all, lack of drivers risks our officers this side.
Agreed.
I'm telling you, it is a very serious matter. We've lost judicial officers. We've lost people out of some of these, the so-called small matters. So to me, you can recruit a judge, but we must protect the lives of these ones that we have recruited. Having them in the system, I mean, takes government money and even initiatives of those persons who occupy those offices. So, as the Judicial Service Commission appears, we need to take up matters of recruitment and just know we are going to take it serious. Because you have a budget. Honorable colleague was talking about fast recruit. That can't happen. Because when you have a wage bill, that is the only time you can make this submission. This is very regrettable of our sister agency, and that's why we condemn this kind of working in silos. Why don't you recruit drivers if people have the money? Is there something that is so unique and special about... We had an incident in education of where we failed to recruit head teachers of schools, and they told us they ran an advert, and we failed to attract. So what does that communicate? For how many years of UPE, we cannot afford to recruit head teachers of schools.
But Chair, when you meet Judicial Service Commission, please tell them that the PS acknowledges that there are some few recruitments that have been made. Of recent, I have received some few. But ask them to recruit and finish all those that we submitted. I think there is some bit of...
For us, our interest is to ensure that you are facilitated to work appropriately.
Thank you.
For them to implement the budget. We have a budget that runs for a financial year. That is what they should do. That is what is expected of them. So whether they've done partial, for us we want full implementation of the budget as allocated to you.
Yeah.
Honorable colleagues, I beg that we proceed.
Excuse me, Chairperson. I would love to ask the PS. I came, a bit went out, and when I came, I said the issue of staff or recruitment is, or it is done. And now I thank you, first of all, for cited the Karenga as one of the sites, and you gave us some pressure to get land and build, and you people have ably done that.
Honorable, which query
Now,
is that?
It is on the staffing. The preamble, as
No. Honorable,
of course,
honorable.
according to him, he said he should tell the Judicial Service Commission. That's where my angle comes in, because the site or the office has been complete. Nobody's there for close to 1 year now. What do they say? That is my concern.
I think we have a query related to that as we do proceed. Thank you, Honorable. You can respond. It is part of the queries. I request that we handle it when we get there.
And also the query which was being raised by Honorable Tsamba. We have responded appropriately in these queries. The judges who have and case backlog reduction, you will be amazed. Oh yes.
So, honorable colleagues, we proceed on implementation of funded activities. PS, the auditor assessed the extent of implementation of activities for which funds were availed and utilized. A total of 32 outputs with 295 activities worth 428.11 billion were assessed. And these were the findings. 21 outputs with 178 activities worth an expenditure of 157 billion were fully implemented. Our interest, we thank you for fully implementing those that you did, but our interest is in the partial. You received their 11 activities worth 270.58 billion. These were partially implemented. You received the money, but you partially implemented these activities. Who have you delegated, sir? The registrar, okay, the chief, and in case there is a case that wants you to be taken somewhere, just know, you will also sit in for him. So, but he's taking an important call. No, when it comes to taking your oath, you will wait for him to do it himself. So, Chief, we come to the partially implemented activities. This is the gist of the audit, and you realize that this is where most of the money is. 270.58 billion not fully utilized. Item 1 is procurement. Procure and install solar systems at 9 courts. That is 5 grade 1 courts. The judicially planned to procure and install solar systems at 9 courts at a cost of 480 million. However, only 5 solar systems were procured and installed. Management responds that the funds budgeted could only enable. What is your response on the solars?
Hello.
As I simplify, our expectation is it is you who budgeted for these items, allocated funds that were appropriate to have them completed. So we need to know, why did you fully receive the funds as was required and you failed to fully implement the activities that you planned for?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, members. Of course, our management response on this, and I do take note of your emphasis, our management response is that the funds budgeted could only enable us to procure 6 out of 9 systems due to the varying requirements at the different courts.
But, Madam Chair.
These are solar systems.
Madam
But
Chair.
these are solar systems, yes.
Madam Chair, when you read the response, that the funds could accommodate 6, but you procured 5. Why 5, not 6?
But Chair, before you even go to the 5,
Yes.
I have a friend of mine, he installed on a small factory. He installed a solar system at a cost of 40 million. Now I'm wondering on courts, most of the time I see these people only writing, So the best machine they use is a computer. When you say they could only 480 million could only purchase 6. That implies that is at 80. But approved for 9. But they were only able to do.
They were only able to procure 5. Totally spent. Yes, Honorable Silas.
I'm Silas Augon from Kumi Municipality. Sorry, I came a little late because I was researching on this solar issue. You said in your response, yeah, I'm also supporting the Muslim world to fast. And I fast in different ways. Now, you also said that the requirements for solar in the stations, in the course, vary. You come to Kumi, the size of the solar system that they want is different.
Yes.
So, did you do any assessments before you arrived at what you wanted to procure? How did you then get your specifications? Did the users get involved in this process, or you decided on their behalf? We are now asking like we are also officers of court.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to invite you to look at page 19, and we have a current status on that. And we said our position is that budget estimates are now based on bills of quantities of targeted courts, as you rightly said, Honorable, that these courts have different needs. So these bills of quantities of targeted courts are as opposed to uniform rate. So what probably a BIM would require would not be the same as Kitgum would require. So our estimates were based on targeted costs as opposed to a uniform rate.
So, Madam Chair, that is why we are saying we needed the figures to be reflected in your budget. So you are the one who made the budget. If you were basing on varying needs, why would you budget or under budget, actually? That question would not be arising.
Madam Chair, I want them to hear them about the cost, which is 96 million. So what does that solar system do? Is it for lighting and computer only? It's way above the market.
Thank you, Chair. I also would like to provide information that, as you are aware, we are rolling out ICMIS. And of course, as we are rolling out ICMIS, we require a solar system that would operate the system, because we do not want to put the system where we cannot run if there is lack of power. So yes, as you're talking about what this solar system would run, I'd like to say that we also, as we are moving forward, we are also making bills of quantities based on our needs and based on our technological need. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, Chair, I thought
I am back.
runs on a computer.
Sorry?
I thought that's an application that runs on a computer.
They
Yes,
need
and
solar for
we
if
need-
power is off.
Yes.
A
But
backup.
I agreed.
Mm.
Agreed, but it runs on a computer. That's an application that would not need extra power source that is used by a computer. Am I
Honorable.
wrong?
Yes, you had something to say?
I am back
Mm.
and I'm reclaiming my seat.
Mm.
We didn't witness
I
the
was
handover.
enjoying.
No, I am now going to, no, I'm requesting
Mm.
that the engineer comes in to make an explanation on that power issue.
But as he makes a clarification, the power issue, something important you should note, PS, is that you budgeted for 480 million to buy 9 solar systems. You only bought 5. So what should come to your mind as a PS is, in future, avoid relying on estimates that are not without valuing, because it is people people made estimates and they committed far above what they can achieve. Instead of, because the assumption is you ought to have carried out estimates on these different sites, and this would inform your budgeting. We can vary budget, a variance is allowed, but this is too much. You know, a variance of between 10 to 15% in any contract is allowed. You can't be exact automatically, but this is too much. So what the take home is, let's improve on the way we do our estimates. The fact that you are undertaking the budgeting process for 25, 26, 27, please.
But Madam Chair,
Engineer.
Madam Chair, when you look at the response, say the budget could accommodate 6, but they only procured 5. Yeah, you would have the 6.
Did you procure 5 or 6? How many did you buy?
No, the audit comments, however, only 5 solar systems were procured and installed.
So we take the 5. PS, what should we take? 5, 6?
Engineer, please.
Thank you, Chair. We should take the 6. I think this was a typo. This was a typing error.
It can't be.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Yes.
We just wanted to remind the officer at the other side that these are already verified written queries. Auditor General took you through several steps, including exit meeting, where you should have even talked about maybe the typo, if it was an error.
As indicated, the EO, however, only 5.
Only 5. They are not blind.
Yes, Engineer.
Thank you, Chair. I need to make a clarification. the reality is that only 6 were procured out of 9. The 5 was the observation from the audit team. So it was clarified that we procured 6 out of 9. So it is 6, not 5.
Engineer, do you know what would have happened for whoever made the response to this query? You would have noted the anomaly that the auditor had mentioned. You note and give the exact. But if the auditor gives 5, you also put 6. It looks as if you did not pay attention to the 6, you did not see it.
The auditor comes up with his findings. They are brought the attention of management. The management makes the responses. They organize an exit meeting. It's at that exit meeting where you clarify some of the differences. If the auditor had come up with 5, and in that exit meeting, you justify that there were 6 and show evidence, he can't go with 5. Because before this report is given to us, it's after the exit management meeting, and this is the final report that comes to us. So I think we shouldn't, because it's like as if we are saying what the auditor did is wrong. And yet you had the opportunity as an entity to have clarified that, and he drops it. So to me, Chair, if I would proceed also to give my observation on this. Chair, I had always known the PS Pius as a very smart person. But now, what we are raising here is that you make so many activities and outputs. You justify them and you are given money. That money is spent, but the activities and outputs are not complete, or they are not implemented. Because it's very unfortunate that out of the 32 total outputs with 295 activities, only 34% of the total, with a budget of 270 billion, which is 63%. I want you to look at the two. Only 34% of the outputs, but taking a bigger budget of 63% of the total money received and spent were not implemented. Now the question what we are asking, before we actually come say, how much do you buy this, how much, where is that money? You received the money, but the outputs are not implemented. Where is it? Now when you come and say that we found the market price were higher than our budget, then to me you're shooting in your own hands, because at the time you come to put a figure in your budget, at least you should have done all necessary research to know the price and cost. Now whichever difference that would come in, as Madam said, that variance should not exceed 10%, unless otherwise with a proper justification. So otherwise we are going to now believing that your planners don't do their work.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Honorable Herbert, because you actually nailed it. That is a concern. Okay? You've budgeted for outputs for activities. Okay? And the monies you wanted for them have been availed. And you've actually spent the what? The monies. But you've not attained all the what? Outputs. And I don't want to agree with the engineer, the response that now you base on bills of quantities. You see, bills of quantities are a result of the activities you want to undertake when you want to get an output. It is not just from Mars and where, no, just from the activities. And these are the very activities they are talking about. It is out of these activities that you will quantify. After quantifying these activities, that's when you get the Bureau of Quantities. And if actually at this point you are telling us that yes, you wanted to procure those solar systems whose costs you are not sure of, whose activities you are not sure of, then that's what the Honorable Abiat has said. Yet you had the procurement plan, you had the work plans, and all those plans are a nexus of activities. I've also known Mr. Bijimana Pius for really being thorough. And these details now, that means you should really be hard on your people, because I'm sure it is now disturbing you. You have all the money you wanted to deliver all these activities. You have spent all the money, but you have not delivered the activities. Now that you are judiciary, why can't you, before even coming here, why wouldn't you open cases against yourselves and meaning the person that would be really questionable? And Chair, for me, my input on this, my submission covers all partially implemented and all those that were not implemented, because it is basically the same. You note the auditor's words. Monies were availed, releases were made, and monies were spent. And all these activities fall under the same issue, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Samba.
Chair, my friend, the PS said that I will be happy, and these are the things where I expected the happiness. But I just want a small clarification, PS. You have planned a budget. You found out that probably the market is talking about other things. Is there a need to seek any approvals, or anybody can act anyhow? You know why I'm asking that? Have I seen a situation that you budget for 10 items and the procurement buys 5, and it passes like that? Even next financial year it passes like that. Meanwhile, the taxpayer is losing money. Are there any approvals in situations where you found out that the market prices or the quotations are higher than the budget in your processes?
Chair. Chair, just to add on to what my colleagues have said, and especially the response from the engineer. These constructions must have had specifications. I don't know whether they were uniform. As government has been trying to adapt uniformity in the terms of the structures that they do. And for that reason, even the installations would have been uniform, if so, and if it were like that. And based on the needs assessment that was done, based on the specifications, the estimate of 480 could have been seen worthy enough to give you all the infrastructural fittings as required. But you would have also been a little organized if you had told us the 6, because that would now clearly lead to the 5 versus the 6. If you had named those 6, the auditor should have seen that these are the 6 we are talking about, and not 5 as he was talking about. So Pius, I think next time a little smarter, and we need to avoid this, and this can only be avoided by details.
Honorable colleagues, it's not just a little smarter, but this is the gist of the audit. You had a budget of 400, it was 400, how many billions? 442 billion, and out of that, 270.58 could not be accounted for. Failure to fully implement an activity that you were 100% failed to implement is equivalent to either diversion, misuse. This is an indictment on you. 270 billion. I mean, you can't give a final output. And the auditor is very clear that out of these activities, despite the partial implementation, funds were released. You received the money, and the biggest component of your budget activities have not been implemented. These are, a colleague has moved out, was asking about the court in Leptong. These are the things here, Lukunjiri High Court. So many items that, deprive the people that you want to serve timely and, quality service. So, PS, we do take note of this anomaly, and I request that you pay keen interest in the way your team makes estimates of activities, especially under development. I know you've been paying attention, but pay more attention to these details. It looks ugly. Because even on your part, what do you report for having done for that financial year? You start on something, it stops in the middle. You start on this, it stops in the middle. For you, how do you feel? You rather, have a few planned for, complete them. Actually, these are idle resources. If it's borrowed money, we are paying interest. Yet you are not. It's not good. Some of these facilities have not been put to use. So it encompasses so many issues. We are not going to spend more time on this. Take note, it's a very big anomaly, very big one, because this shows failure to fully implement your budget. And if you cannot use the money, in any case, why should you be given more money? You see? So whoever is in charge of this docket, kindly do your part. This is the reason as to why you come with them. Much as accountability is to the accounting officer, but also pass on to order to whoever holds the docket. So when you also leave this place, I'm not saying discipline them, but have them in an in-house discussion. You know how we do your things, but we want to extend our displeasure and dissatisfaction on the way you have implemented your budget. It's very wanting, far below standard. Because if you fail to really execute your budget, there is no reason as to why you should be given more money.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair, and members for the advice and observations. I'm going to take action when we go back.
So, honorable colleagues, we go to service delivery assessment. That is 3.3, 3.31, service delivery arising out of construction works. The auditor undertook procedures to confirm if the activities implemented by the entity were implemented on time and were acceptable quality, quantity, cost, and functionality. A sample of 6 items worth 6.74 billion was made, and that is table 14, showing the status of implementation of construction projects. We begin with construction of Soroti High Court. The start date was 12th May 2022. Initial completion 2023, 14th May. Expired completion date was 14th July. At the time of inspection in October 2025, the following were observed. Roofing was complete. I want to see the summary so that we don't read much. The contractor failed to meet the July 24 deadline, meaning this activity also delayed. Construction of Toro High Court at Toro City. There are delays in the completion of the project. Construction of the Chief Magistrate's residence at Ibuko Court. The author notes that the contractor was on schedule. However, the construction was done on land where the judiciary did not provide proof for ownership. Take note of that. That is item 3. You constructed in a place where you don't have ownership of land. Item 4, the contractor was behind schedule. Proposed the regional court of appeal in Gulu. The contractor was not on site by the time of the audit. That is noted. 7, the judiciary needs, Yumbe Chief Magistrate's Court. The judiciary needs to consider undertaking renovations at Yumbe, CM Court, facelifting and these others. Accounting officer, speak to these delays. Yes, we are looking at these that were partially implemented, but also for these that you started, I mean, implementation is, the progress is slow. Where is the problem? Yes, Honorable Silas.
Just a comment on two. One, when they don't execute these contracts timely, this contribute to the backlog of cases, because the people who are supposed to use the services, the construction projects, are the ones who are affected. And you force our voters to travel to coast, they don't get the services early enough. People are on the roads, they face a lot of transport costs. So, and we are talking about, for instance, Soroti High Court. So that is an area for myself, for instance, because Kumi, I come from Kumi. I used to go to Soroti before you gave us the High Court in Kumi. So the whole of that area, our voters are poor. You make them to frequent court because you cannot take decisions, you keep on adjourning cases because you don't have enough staff, you are affected by these projects. So I wanted to highlight that what? Concern. So why the delays?
Honorable Seungu.
Madam Chair, good morning. I'm Seungu Joseph Gonzaga.
Good afternoon, sir.
MP County West. I'm sorry for coming late. When you read all these issues, Madam Chair, and since we are getting the documents this morning, because I've just seen them, the answer here is, according even to the auditors, how they wrote here, we need to know the status of what is happening. Can we be updated? Because I cannot mislead you or tell lie to you that I'm going to read the management response when I've even come in late, and I'm sorry for that. But the best answer from the accounting officer is to update this committee on the update of what is happening right now on each and every project. Because that's what the auditors are also saying here in their last communication. I don't know whether it's acceptable.
It's acceptable, Honorable. We shall make a conclusion on that. Honorable Tayebwa.
Chair, thank you very much. Before we proceed, there's something which is still lingering in my mind. The not implemented at all, was worth 10.7 billion. And now the question is, which I'm asking myself, the money has been diverted or used for other things because it's not there. Now, in the coming financial year, are you going to rebudget to implement those activities? Are you abandoning the activities? What are you going to do?
And what's the source of funding for these activities? Yes, PS.
I remember I requested you that I took note of your concerns, all of you, and allow me to retreat and look at where the problem is. I'm sorry, I should have had all the answers, but on this one, allow me to get to my officers and see where the problem is.
Honorable Silas on the same.
Yeah, just to ask him to be concerned about the strategic plan, because all the indicators are showing that there is now a diversion, getting away from what the strategy is telling you to do, to picking things which are not in the what? Strategy.
We shall
So
get
be
to
concerned
implementation.
about it
We
as
shall
well.
get to the implementation of the strategic plan. P.S. When you look through the consolidated financial statements, there is always a section that gives details of how the country uses its funds overall in the entities, and they categorize items in fully implemented, partially implemented, and non-implemented. And most of our money is under partial implementation. That shows that we are doing a service to our people. So kindly take note that underperformance in the judicial sector at the end of the day contributes to the overall. And the auditor takes note that that's why I was inquiring about the soft funding for these activities. Some of this is borrowed money. We borrow money that is not put to use. So we want to note that you have really said you'll go and see how to put these to order, but also to advise that as you correct what has happened, as you look through where you went wrong, pick interest on how the current planning is being done. Because we're in the budgeting process, you may find yourself going through the same challenges. Honorable colleagues, we are going to 3.4, case management. Case management performance against disposal targets. A review of disposal requirements showed that the judiciary disposed of 259,331 cases against the annual target of 280,657, reflecting an achievement of 92% and a shortfall of 21,326 cases. While appellate courts surpassed their targets, the High Court and the Magistrate Courts responsible for the bulk of the caseload fell short of the planned outputs. An assessment of case disposal against annual targets revealed mixed performance across court levels as summarized below. This is the core of why this arm of government is in existence. And when you look at table 15, it gives you details of what is under the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, the High Court, and the Magistrate Courts. PS, you are going to look at the performance as mentioned in the table under. Much as we appreciate the 92% performance in disposal of cases, but you know, when you look at this and reflect what is practically happening, one may wonder, 92% when everyone is complaining about case backlog. But you can explain more, beginning with the Supreme Court, up to down.
Sierra.
Madam Chair, maybe we...
Yes, Honorable Mudimi, then you come in later, Honorable Silas.
We could go to now A, that table 16, because the breakdown is under, yeah. The other one is like a head note, then A. We are going to real questions now.
Honorable, do you know why I wanted to have to speak to this table? Is because when you look at the percentage achieved, it reflects as if the judiciary is performing very well.
In some
so,
areas. In some cases.
In some, even in all. But when you go to the actual, so we need to get an explanation from you, accounting officer. Yes, Honorable Silas.
Madam Chair, first of all, allow me to appreciate the judiciary and the PS really, because whatever the case, 92% is not a small percentage. Looking at our history and where we have come from. Nonetheless, I know you're about to come with an answer which is talking about resources and what have you. But remember, we have just been talking about you failing to spend money, spending money outside the planned activities. Now, in this 80% that you failed to achieve, to complement the 92% to make it 100%, there could be cases which have been there for even more than 20 years. That's the one. Number two, you might find that some of the cases which are not yet decided are locking up a lot of money, actually denying the economy that is feeding, the money that will be running it. One case alone can hold even 2 billion, 3 billion, 10 billion. If it's on a plot in maybe Kampala here in Ikololo, that's a lot of money locked. The last one is, if you decide not to implement, to have these cases disposed, that 80% might be having people who are most vulnerable. Maybe somebody survives on that case. Once it's decided, the person comes back to a good life. But you are taking forever to discharge it.
Thank you, Honorable.
So we are concerned about that, Madam Chair.
Honorable, pick interest in this table. The table indicates target cases to dispose of. This means this arm sits in its planning meetings and they agree that according to the resources that we have and according to the staff, all those together, this is what we can afford to dispose of. Because to me, when you look at the practical part of it and the paperwork here, it looks that all is well. But how I wish we had been given a table indicating the actual cases received. Because you planning what you want to dispose of is different from what you actually receive. I don't know whether, PS, whether this makes sense. Because for you, you plan to dispose of 136. But one would be interested in knowing how many do you receive a year? You see, because they have categorized them under the different courts. So would like to know, for example, in the in the Supreme Court, how many cases do you normally receive? Because this only shows your target. You know, this overperformance is because they they set themselves the targets according to the resources they have. But you never know. It also leaves us with a backlog. So how I wish we had a table that indicates the actual cases that you receive. But let's proceed.
There is one below, table 16. It shows the persistent backlogs. So, because you base on the backlog plus the new cases, not so? To determine what you'll be able to. So, available work, according to this table, is about 46,000 cases. And they only...
You know, Honorable, before we take that direction, let them first speak to table 15. Table 15 leads you to this backlog that is being stated here.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honorable members. Chair, I would like to pick from where you said how you wish we would avail you with a table showing also the cases that we receive. That is available, and I will pray that you give us opportunity to present that to you, but that is available. Now, Chair, to speak to table 15, yes, we see indeed that Supreme Court had a target of 136, as we can all see, and it's reported that they met their target. Court of Appeal also had a set target, and it is reported that indeed they exceeded the target, and I think we should really commend the judiciary for and the higher courts for doing this.
We can't comment
yes,
when
because we exceeded the, you know, we have to give credit where it's due.
You set low targets. You know, we would have given credit if we had seen what you received.
We shall provide that, Chair.
So for here, we can't give credit because the information provided is not sufficient enough for us to reach a conclusive decision.
Madam
Chair, we will provide that, but we met this target.
Madam Chair,
now moving on.
A moment, Honorable.
Just one.
A moment, please. Let her first finish.
She's quick in making it appear like they are doing well. Remember, the magistrate courts and the high courts are the ones supplying to the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. So you undersupply, then you assume that you are performing well on top. Yet you are not supplying cases. You are supplying very few. So that is where the problem is. Talk about the magistrates' courts and the courts of high court, I mean, where most of our people stop.
Honorable Saungu.
Area of interest is on magistrates' courts. Majority of the cases there are criminal. And Mr. Accounting Officer, what is failing you to give us prosecutors or resident state attorneys? For example, we have magistrates courts in Kalungu. Let me talk about my area. But whenever you talk about the magistrate tells you, what can I do? The prosecutor has to come from Masaka. But we are established. The moment, because most of the cases at magistrates court are criminal cases in nature. Why don't we have those ones? Or at least if a district like Kalungu, I rarely talk about my place so much because I want to go for the national cause. But now I'm looking at Kalungu with the two courts. One in Irukaya, the other one is in Kalungu. But we are looking for a prosecutor to handle cases to come from Masaka. And information, yeah.
Yes, please.
Chair, we were with the DPP the other day. Monsieur, DPP was here the other day. Yes. And they were appealing to Parliament. They did the appeal to this committee. They have also done the appeal to other sectoral committees to raise the numbers of state attorneys to match the numbers of the judicial officers. So they were actually making an appeal to us that you see, you have judicial officers whose numbers are higher than, and I remember, I think it was Buvuma, Susan here, who was making that. In some cases, you have state attorneys operating in 2-3 courts or districts. So the information, Monsieur Honorable Sewungu.
Sir, we don't have interpreters. We don't have.
It is the case was put to us, and I think me and you have a responsibility to help in that.
Yeah, we. Thank you very much. But Madam Chair, I think that's the same issue, because when you have the accounting officer, the first important thing with this sectoral committee is having placed a demand for the same as a priority in their budget. If it is not there, I don't know who will come out. So he's in the right hand. And you remember, at least with the parliament on our side, we played our part of us at least looking at the better remuneration of high court judges, even including magistrates. So that's my area of attack, and Honorable Council has helped me energize my issue.
Honorable,
but it generates from your side.
Honorable colleagues, the issue of prosecutors.
It's DPP.
Was
okay.
Yeah, this was brought to our attention by the office of the DPP, and we took note. They had a requirement of 1,400 staff. They only had 779, and out of those, the prosecutors were close to 400. So we acknowledged the gap. This is one of the matters that we are going to bring out when we interface with the PSST. They are yet to come to ensure that we ensure that they allocate a reasonable budget. So when you interface with us, these are some of the key areas that we pick out, so that we know we are operating a very constrained budget, but there are things we should pay attention to. So that mismatch between the prosecutors and the judges, I mean, at the end of the day, is a cost to the country. Some side will be idle, I mean, the other will be very busy, but not serving the country at the end of the day. So, honorable colleagues, take note that we have observed that, and we shall raise it with the PSST. So you are proceeding with this table?
Madam Chair, Honorable Chair, I was coming to High Court and Magistrates Court, and indeed we see that is where targets were not met. But Honorable Chair, as you can see on page 30, we already had an explanation as to why we fell short, and one of them has already been extensively discussed right now. That is a considerable number of Chief Magistrates Courts and Magistrate Grade 1 courts also lack resident state attorneys and prosecutors, which cripples handling of criminal cases. This applies to High Court. We are not running at the same pace, and we have already discussed that issue, Madam Chair. So it's one of the reasons why the High Court and the Magistrates Court failed to meet their target. And but Madam Honorable Chair, we also have, as you noticed, and I know that in another part of this query we shall discuss ADR. We know that as judiciary we have come with we've not been sitting, we've come with all these innovations to make sure that we dispose of these cases, because case backlog is a concern to all of us. So we've come up with plea bargain, we've come up with mediation, but of course we do notice that even plea bargain is affected by the lack of state attorneys. So our management response to this query is that we continue to lobby for funds to recruit more staff, because as you're also aware, we are operationalizing more courts to bring justice closer to people, but we lack staff to man these stations. We lack staff, both judicial and non-judicial. So in addition to appealing to honorable members to have state attorneys recruited, we also are lobbying for funds to recruit more staff and to construct and equip courts to facilitate increased case disposal rates, Honorable Chair. But I would also like to give information that now we have made an amendment to the Magistrates Court Act bill, which Cabinet approved, And this has increased jurisdiction of magistrates court, chief magistrates to 100 million and magistrate grade 1s to 50 million. In effect, this will reduce substantially number of cases from high court coming downwards to the lower court. And I say this because if you look at table 16, you see that there's a high backlog at the high court divisions, that is 29.42%, as opposed to the lower courts, that is 14 for chief magistrates and 9.59 to the magistrates court. So this is also another way of bringing cases down from the high court so that they can focus on appeals and other courts that they will have jurisdiction for. And it will, we believe, indeed, enhance performance in the high court and magistrates court. Thank you.
Chair, I can hear the registrar, and most of the MDAs, most of the ministries will meet here. It ends to this story that we need more money, without even giving us a trend that when we give more money, then what has been the trend in dealing with the backlog? I really would have appreciated if, say, you came up with a trend here to say, you know, when honorable members, we recruited these so many, our backlog was this much, and it dropped to this much. If we got this more money, we will be able to achieve this. But you never hear that. You hear the same story. We don't have enough judicial officers, and it ends there. But Madam Registrar, I want to give an example. I happen to be a member of the Pan-African Parliament, and the Pan-African Parliament sits in South Africa. But every time we have judicial matters to be adjudicated within South Africa, they have leveraged on technology. You apply online, matters are heard online. There is no time to the lawyers apply. They are given time that your matter will be heard on such and such a minute. I've been involved in about 3 cases, but none took a week. We applied, we were heard, and the ruling performed online. And me, when I hear us building more courtrooms, going into construction, it looks the way to go. But the way to go is leveraging on technology. And me, when I hear you going the route you're taking, it implies we will be in the same stories. Same stories. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
As Honorable Silas.
Chair, I want to compliment the information from my brother here. Legal aid, in my own view, in South Africa is super. And it's like for us in Uganda, we're not pushing for it. Most of the people here cannot defend themselves in court. So dispensation of justice has a problem, because we're not pushing for legal aid. So can we do something along those lines? But finally, Madam Chair, the registrar is talking about resources, giving them more money. But look at your performance and the way it is indicating. There are all signs and symptoms of budget indiscipline. Why would we add money to an entity which is diverting? Because there are signs and symptoms already here. Diverting, partially implementing, sometimes not implementing, and you're asking for more money. Can you really show cause as to why you should be given more money when you cannot do even the most of the simple?
Honorable colleagues, as the PS comes in to respond, I request that we add on table 16 so that we dispose this one off at the same time. You know, the persistent case backlog and low disposal rates of these cases. The auditor established that the judiciary continues to hold a substantial case backlog, with 46,181 cases pending for more than 2 years, out of the total pending caseload of 190,793. 190,000, close to. No, this is not true. Okay, I was going to refer it to something. I will whisper to Asman. We will communicate it better. The highest backing ratios were recorded at the Court of Appeal. That is 52.8%. The Supreme Court 45.2%, and the High Court statutory at 33%, indicating sustained congestion at the upper levels of the justice system. The table here lists all those details. We have cases under 1 year, cases between 1 to 2 years, cases between 2 to 5 years, cases between 5 to 10 years, and those cases above 10 years. Despite the interventions such as plea bargaining, mediation, small claims procedures, and partial automation, the backlog remains materially high. P.S. If you were a woman, and you cannot be.
I can't be a woman.
Anyway, the fact that you cannot be a woman, I will not give that example. I will look for a more suitable one. Let us proceed.
I would be very beautiful, by the way. Now,
so,
honorable members, Chair and honorable members, there is a difference between backlog and case load. The numbers of backlog cases which are in judiciary can be clearly segregated. That one is very simple. The number of the case load can also be done. And one of the members asked, what have you done? We gave you money to do this. We gave money to do this. How have you done, and as far as case backlog is concerned? I want to request, Chair, that when you go back, I put in a lot of effort to have this differentiation coming in, to even demonstrate to you. You remember when you came here, we requested for more judges to handle cases in civil, in land division and commercial division, because as you said, and rightly so, most of these cases which are backlog affects the economy, and not only the economy but also the livelihood of people, our people. If they cannot utilize land because there are cases, then it's really very bad. I will demonstrate to you that since that time, we have had many cases which have been disposed of from the commercial court, and also indicate the trillions of money that has been released, which were in construction, in banking, in insurance, in trade. I will demonstrate that to show you that what you appropriated has done something. Yes. Actually, my office is giving me immediately, because of that, because of what you did, we have managed to have 38,102 cases with a monetary value of 14 trillion shillings completed because of your input, and we thank you so much. Give us more money than you see. 14 trillion is not little money in the economy.
Chair, really, we need to commend them, because that is the reality.
Yes.
When we lock up these cases and we don't decide them timely, we lock up the economy.
Yes.
So whatever we do, our actions have the potential to release a lot of money to the economy. So just know that we're all relying on you.
Number two, apart from what I have talked about in commercial division, we are going to put down the information regarding other cases that have been disposed of as a result of increased funding. We are going to demonstrate to you the number of recruitments that have been made as a result of this support you have given us. Just give us only 1 or 2 days.
Honorable Saungu.
Mr. Accounting Officer, me on table 16, now you know your staff as well. I left teaching. Why, by this stage now, you'll be showing us the performance on above 10 years? Because Supreme Court has 31, Court of Appeal 813, 344, High Court 579, 27 for Chief Magistrate, and of course Magistrate Court 1 is 0. But we could get a status, because when you talk about backlog and the case what?
Case
load. Of course, under 1 year is case load. But me, I would look at it above 10 years. Then between 5 to 10, we would wish to know at the stage of appearing before us here, what is the stand as we talk now? Because above 10 years, sincerely, some people might even have died. Both parties. Is the case still standing? Can we have something on this? And you, as the immediate supervisor, you should push for this to disappear on your audit queries as an entity.
Yes, Honorable Nsamba.
Yeah, and all has driven us on the lane of the trillions. What Honorable Sewung is highlighting is what I was really interested in. The bigger problem when you requested for more money was case backlog. And PS, if you remember very well, you used to cry, case backlog, case backlog, case backlog. Yes, it is good to hear the trillion has saved the monies, but also people dying without their cases being disposed of is also not very good. It's also very dangerous. Cases beyond 10 years, honestly. But 10 years, we shouldn't even have cases beyond 2 years. Why should we? When we have a competent team that you lead, when you have a team that can do that. So as we move, you promised you'll bring the information. And when they brought that, all I wanted to hear, how many cases were 10 years and how many are they now? How many cases were 9 years and how many are they now? So that we can see the impact being created by the more funds.
Honorable colleagues, as he makes submission on the cases, actually we should pick interest. There is this one of between 5 to 10, meaning those of 8 years, 9 years also, they fall below this side. So how I wish you can give us an example of a case that has, the nature of a case that has taken 10 years, the uniqueness, so that we can appreciate a case that takes 10 years. What is unique about the case? And the other...
Do we deal with the case, the new load, when we have a case for 10 years? Why don't we have this one out? 10 years out, 8 years out, we deal with those ones, they get out. No, then we are able to manage the load.
Honorable Shabe, we use what we call FIFO instead of LIFO. First in, first out. Last in, last out. But how do we select these cases? Then beyond that, Madam Chair, the issue of the performance of our officers of court, the magistrates, the judges, how do you handle? Do you assess their performance annually? Do we know right now the best performing judge in terms of output? I mean, the cases they have handled effectively and efficiently. Because it would be good, Madam Chair would even recommend maybe later as a committee that we need to initiate a reward system for the best performing officers. We have not heard about it. Because we have to share with you, you should share with us the results so that we know who is giving us results as a country. Well, reward such people highly.
If they have a
giving everybody the same salary,
they must be having that. So, Honorable, we take note, Honorable Silas, we take note of your observation, but I believe they must be rewarding, well-performing officers. There is no serious institution that can run short of, rewarding for. Could be they should publicize it better so that people can know
maybe
what
it was in Uganda, but
takes
it never.
But PS, as you come in to respond on the other issue of the backlog, because this is also part of the same matter. Part B of the table, this is existence of cases pending beyond 10 years. Audit further revealed that with the overall background of 1,794 cases have remained pending for over 10 years, with the largest accumulation at the Court of Appeal, 813 cases, and the High Court Circuit. Interviews with some court staff indicated that persistent backlog is attributed to low staffing levels with the judiciary. This we've taken note, but as we've requested, you'll have to give us, I don't know whether it is within the law. I stand to be advised by our legal team if we asked for the details of the cases that are above 10 years, because these are exceptional. Could be you need to be helped. And why do we have, because we know you will talk about stuff, but even if it were you, somebody records a case and it takes 10 years. If it was land, you are the one who spoke about, failure for people to use their land, so many things. It's a loss to whoever, has that case, whoever is interested. So we shall request for details of these cases, and you have a case that has taken how many years?
Yeah, I have a case in the land division which has been there since 2015. Yes.
So, PS, as you come in, do you know in Buganda here, when somebody goes to court on land matters so many times, for so many years, you have to put in quotes, they say, Ndebukananagwa Chibanja. So it has become a punishment. That, somebody knows when you open up a case on a land matter, be sure when you put on a court, it must get old when the case has not been concluded. So that is why people have resorted to using other mechanisms of sorting out land issues. That is why the RDCs are taking over. They sort out matters whichever way, but, people could be, they are transacting. You can respond and conclude on that matter.
I think, let me not pretend I've heard you loud and clear. And it is regrettable that you have cases 10 years and above. It's not justice, I do admit. But we have declared war. We have declared war using all fronts that are possible. One of them is the alternative dispute resolution mechanisms, which already are yielding good results. We can even give you statistics of what has been handled in this area. Through mediation, through pre-bargaining, we shall give you all this information. But besides that, we have proposed that we get all of these cases which are above 10 years, and then maybe have a special assignment to some judges in that division to handle the cases expeditiously and clear them. Even if it is 2-3 months, let it be, but let the cases be handled. Honorable, your case should be one of those to be cleared. No, we can't clear it here. It will be cleared in the court. When we go to our home, here this is parliament, we can't clear the case. But I can assure you, and bank on me, chairperson, I don't promise things I'm not going to do. The fact
the PS has been threatening to do that very same issue. You recall, even last year, the PS was threatening.
You watched the war?
Yes. Even when he appeared, even when he appeared before the sectoral committee, he was threatening that war without any ballistic missile.
That was World War II and this
so,
World War III.
I hope PS this time round, please, you bring the ballistic missiles. Because I recall at that time, you had even made a proposal, if colleagues can remember, that even if it meant having people recruited on some short-time basis, to specifically deal with the backlog. You recall your proposal here?
Chair, I have not forgotten.
Yes.
And that's why I demonstrated to you. I did not threaten for nothing. When I demonstrated to you, and no, but you see, at your front, if you get surprise from the enemy, you might take long to execute. I have told you that because of the ammunition you gave me, we unleashed terror, and 14 trillion was released. So
you are throwing more missiles.
Yes, you wait, you will see. Chair, I'm going to give you figures.
Kindly, a proposal of leveraging on technology to process that one more quickly.
No, I should say, and it was one of the issues, by the way, I think the last query, on ECMIS, Electronic Court Case Management Information System, is doing us good work.
We shall get there.
And we shall continue to roll out to make sure that we get these cases very fast, filed, and heard. And by the way, for information, because of this ECMIS, even net tax revenue has gone up. We have moved from 2.5 billion when we started to about 12 billion now, non-tax revenue. We are doing very well. Justice is part of that. Because when you file and the non-tax revenue comes in, the cases are heard, dispose the cases.
Yes.
Yes.
You can excite us on revenue. But what this country, what the public needs the most is justice. Justice.
Yes, Honorable, conclude on this.
Actually, I was seeking for your intervention because the matter we are handling on disposal and even the underutilization of mediation, they all fall into the same issue. I don't know, he had talked about it and I was going to raise a question on mediation. I don't know that you are...
No, we are flowing chronologically. We are going to get there. We are getting
That's
to...
what I was praying, that why don't we handle them at once?
That's
because
why...
the case backlog is then even as a result of mediation, failure to mediate. Where is the problem on this?
Let's flow chronologically. The fitness coach at Parliament here says we should stretch a bit.
I agree with him. I agree with him because you can get sick here.
Collective efforts, we shall come together because we all know health is wealth and exercise is medicine.
I agree.
You repeat after me. Exercise is medicine.
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 Health is wealth.
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 Health
Chair, thank you so much. For us at the judiciary, this is what we do. I have evidence.
Is that why there is backlog?
That is why he's clearing the backlog. The clearance of the backlog.
Clearing the backlog. Yeah.
So, honorable colleagues, that is fitness. As you are aware, health is wealth. We are proceeding to 3.43, performance of plea bargaining in the year under review. A review of the judiciary performance reports revealed that in the financial 24-25, 2,107 inmates were enrolled for plea bargaining across 16